Phone. Gimme. Hello and welcome to the final round of the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge here at Mount Panorama, New South Wales, Bathurst, for the final round of this series where the battle for the championship is going to come right down to the wire. My name is Ross Husky McKenzie and I will be with you during qualifying and also the race from the ultimate round of this series. Now, a few things that people should know about the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge is it runs a few rules within these 75-minute races. The first, and to me arguably the most important, is Parc Ferme is enforced. For people that don't know, Parc Ferme is drivers must use the same tyre compound, fuel level, and also setup they used within qualifying. This in turn, as R Factor has a little bit of a desync, this in turn gives almost a fairer field, as times set in qualifying more or less can mirror the best delta time within the race. This way as well, drivers don't, for driving in a setup point of view, you sort of get a little bit nicer in terms of obviously making your setup. You've got one to go across both, which can take a lot of pressure off once you're making this setup. So yes, Bathurst, or Mount Panorama as it's known, host of the 12 Hours of Bathurst, which is raced in GT3 cars, the Bathurst 1000, part of V8 supercars as well. R Factor is really not having a nice time with some of this. It's honestly a track that, for drivers, you need constant concentration within it. It's just that fact of you have such little margin for error. We're going to take a onboard lap with Thomas Golab, if he completes the lap, that is. As you can see, he's climbing up into the mountain. It's, honestly, then you have this blind left that leads into another left. Then you have to hope and pray that you've set the car up. Oh, Thomas, please. As you go into the right-hander, and you go into another right-hander that leads you into Suleiman Park. You have to be very careful here over the bumps, because the outside walls are not forgiving whatsoever. You tap one of those, you can either just walk away with a bit of right-hand damage, or you can set yourself up completely wrong into McPhillamy Park, as we go through now Skyline. Quick bit of a chicane, thankfully no wall on the inside in case you do overcook it. Down into Corkscrew as now we start to go down the mountain. This section of track, if drivers go too wide here, or in fact try to battle through this bit of track, you have to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. first thing first, I also apologise. I don't have a season standing graphic. Something that I don't have this time. But for people who really want to know, this race is going to be very close. And it's probably going to be a very, very, very emotional race for either Paul Holt of Fair Racing Team, currently running P5 in his practice session, or Gregors Bulat, someone else who is currently running in P7. Oh, sorry, no, not P7. P1 currently of a 2:01.097 time in his practice session. Both drivers are tied on points today, which means that whoever finishes ahead of one another in this race will be crowned the champion of the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge. Honestly, for these two drivers, the pressure is going to be immense. Looking down the field as well, the battle for third place really quite close as well. Third place currently being held by Adam Kawasaki for Luna Racing at 266 points. Followed over in P4 by Fabio Zabetto, who currently is on 258. After him, we have Cliff van der Vin at 256. Artur Skozula at 248. Connie Janssen at 241. Peter Lane at 235. Michael Brooks at 216. And Michael Favero at 196. That sums up your top, your P3 through to P10, really, which sort of completes your P1 through to P10. So honestly, I think anyone really within, you know, the top 6 to top 8 could theoretically have a chance here. Right now we are in the practice session. We've got about 9-ish minutes left of practice. Then we'll be moving into a qualifying session. Remember, Parc Ferme. Going to be very interesting to see where the drivers stack up. Will drivers prioritise the quali session, or will they prioritise the race? Will they try and make a balance? It's honestly a very hard decision between the two of what you want to do. As we watch Rulas Gomez here in one of the Callaway GT3s, going a little bit of backstepping out there around Philamy Park into Skyline. The Callaway GT3, as you can see, is actually quite popular, I think, with drivers. Though, from the look of our top 15, and then also what we get down the bottom, there is a nice array of cars. A few BMWs in the top 15, a Porsche who's just been moved out the top 15, some McLarens as well as some Astons. I wish I could make those logos a different colour from black if we add them, because they're a little bit difficult to see for me. I'm not sure how they'd come up on the stream. Ooh, just grabbing my notes. I actually do write a script, write a script for the start of these, and I run across two computers, which makes life a little bit difficult. Hello, Andrew. I'm also looking at the chat as much as I can, but yeah, I'm running across two computers just to get sort of two screens. As well, one thing that I should mention: this series does run a success ballast. And the success ballast for the final race is as follows. Paul Holt will start with 30 kilograms added to the car's weight. Afterwards, we have Gregors Bulat, who is going to have an extra 25 kilos added to weight. And now 5 kilos off of Paul Holt, which that's going to make this this title battle, which is coming down to the final race, very interesting. Afterwards, we have Adam Kawasaki, Fabio Zabetto, and Pedro Crulas, all on 5 kilograms, and Cliff van der Vin, also at 30 kilograms. It's going to be interesting to see where these drivers stack up with their success ballast. Of course, as he actually comes out of the pits, so let's have a look at Van der Vin. Some onboard laps from him in this quite striking Callaway GT3. Actually, it's a very interesting livery he's running, which is something I do love to see in series. Is just what artistic vision drivers bring with their liveries. And Cliff Van der Ven looking to go with, I can't remember what the comic style is called, that sort of mirrors to me. I'm not 100% sure. It'll come to me eventually, and it'll be very, very annoying when it does come to me, because I'll be sitting here commentating and being like, ah, it's that, which is very, very good. My phone is also buzzing like no tomorrow, but I am using it to read my script, which is very nice, isn't it? So, a quick rundown that was posted in the Discord earlier that I will quickly run through just to sort of fill some time in the practice, and then I will shut up until the start of quali. How it normally goes. So, at the front, as I have said, it's a very, very open fight for first place in the series between Paul Holt and Grzegorz Bulat. Remember, whoever finishes ahead of one another in this race will be crowned the champion this year. With P3, mathematically, it is 6 drivers in the fight, with Adam Krzyzewski in P3 with 266 points, but the gap behind, quite a small one. In reality, Cliff Van der Ven, we are expecting to be one to watch this race, as his previous performances have been very, very high up there. Quite a few first places, a second. So it'll be very interesting to see where he comes in qualifying, sort of how he stacks up. It's going to be interesting to see where everyone comes in qualifying, in all honesty. However, in the team standings, the situation is clear that is pretty wrapped up in first place for today's race, which is Fair Racing Team, with the drivers of Janssen, Van der Ven and Holt walking away with 721 points for the team, cementing them the victory. Following after them in P2 is Luna Racing, with Bulat, Krzyzewski and Siskula at 654, followed by Team Furter, which I'm probably not pronouncing that right, I apologise, with Rassi, Brooks and Golab with 464. Leon Corsa follows soon after, with Martin, Zabetto and Polly at 448. Preza Diretta in P5 with Nadal and Ettore at 288. R4F with Blundell and Glordmania at 254. GT Omega RPM Esports in P7 with Vela and Kapmardajan at 243. JP Performance follows in P8 with R Brooks and P Lane at 235 points. Energy Racing Team in P9, being driven by Favero as their only driver at 196. Omicron Sim Racing with Sorin as their only driver in P10 with 71. Bad Wolves HRS Racing follow in P11 with Mancuso, Ramilia and Atenzi at 37 points. HM Engineering with Aredo at 27 points. Sim Racing Motorsport with Inchausi at 1 point. And then a quick rundown on the teams with no points being Mugen Sim Racing, Danish Racing League, Brabham Motorsport, Naja Racing Italia, and Esquatsi Racing round off the grid, all tied on 0 points. Now I need to set my RF2 TV up because I don't need my static cameras anymore. Very, very good. So keep in mind, I will be trying my best to watch the YouTube chat, but from the look of the times that people are, setting, it's going to be, I think, a very, very close race up the front if the times are anything to go by. But in reality, around Bathurst, you cannot really rely on the times to have a look at how people are doing. Bathurst is one of those tracks where you need to be consistent and you need to be able to keep banging in the same lap times close to each other no matter what happens out there. As this is a track where any mistake will either cost you heavily, or in reality, especially up the top of the mountain near Suleiman Park, which is the section we're at now into McPhillamy and Skyline, the margin of error is just non-existent, especially at the start of the race. Drivers are going to have to be, I think, close and also fairly careful just to make sure that, you know, they all get out of it safely for the first few laps, but also that no one spins in corkscrew, which is one of the worst things that can happen as the practice session ends here. So we will be going on to the qualifying session soon, just when the drivers cross the line, and then I will give us a rundown of how the how the practice times stack up as Bartek Maniak goes into the pits aborting his lap. I think it was on the out lap there as well, so not really going to be any advantage gained. Not sure if my overlay's working. Oh, there we go. R Factor really is not having fun, or it might be the server change session. One or the other. Ah, it was. Yes, as Andrew has just said in the track, it's going to be very interesting to see what tyres everybody takes. There is Parc Ferme, so setup, fuel, and tyres a lot. So you have to take what you've got between the sessions. Honestly, I think it's just going to be very difficult for drivers. Well, not really for drivers. These guys, all of them seem to be very professional, seem to have their heads very much screwed on. It's going to be interesting to see how drivers stack up and what they take to the qualifying session, because in reality it will decide your strategy. You do have to make one pit stop. For people who are wondering as well, the tyre wear is set to ×2, which means that tyres will wear fairly quickly. Oh, we're on private qualifying. Oh, we are. So we'll ride on board with Paul Holt for a few laps here. Tied P1 in the standings, which is something that's... oh, it's just so odd to see a tied P1 down to the last race. Like, normally the gap's close, but in commentary this has been the first time I've seen a tied first place. I'm going to be very interested to see how these two drivers stack up. Because in reality, they need to race each other, but keep themselves safe from retirement. Because this race is it. Win or lose of the championship. We will definitely be speaking to both of them at the end of the race as well. Get their views, get how they feel. We'll try as well to speak to as many of the drivers as we can. So, an update on our P1 going out and qualifying. Both Bulat and Holt are coming out on the, once the page loads. It's okay, when I do my test races, everything works fine, but the minute it comes to the race, everything breaks. Oh, there we go. So, both Bulat and Holt have come out on the hards. Well, they've come out on the they've come out on the mediums. The colour balance on this laptop is broken. So yeah, here we see Paul Holt trying to warm the tyres down the Conrod straight as he runs up into the chase. Very difficult corner, really, to chase. You have to be able to set it up right for it. You do have the excess tarmac on the edge of Conrod going into it. It's obviously quite smart to use all of it, as we go into Murray Corner. 90-degree right-hander, but quite deceptive. If you're going too hot, it's not a far distance to the wall. Because now he comes into Hell Corner. Again, two 90-degree corners, both of which quite deceptive. Hell Corner is going to be very interesting to see how they go through their lap one. It's not as if you have a wide gap of track. I mean, you can see that the track is not wide as he runs up into the first corner, up the mountain. Very touchy on the understeer it can be with these cars. Gets up into the cutting. Nice camera angle there. We're going to see, I think, a lot of nice camera angles during this race. I'm also keeping an eye on the timings as people come through. So Paul Holt goes fastest in the first sector with a 48.6. No, sorry. The fastest so far in the sector has been a 48.5, I think. Is that what it's telling me, or 48.4? I'm not sure. Oh, the drivers only get... Apparently the drivers only get 6 laps. An out lap... Is that 4 running laps and an in lap? Oh. That's going to make it a lot more interesting. I mean, there's only really 5 minutes, so... Gotta be quick to make the most... Well, I don't think you can actually do all laps in that time. As the first time start coming in, Dean Vella with a 2:02.4, Tony Janssen, sorry, with a 2:03.059, Kostas Melistas with a 2:03.039, as P1 is bouncing around there. Fabio Zabetto going with a 2:01.218, and Gregors Bulat going with a 2:01.328. So we're going to start seeing people come through the line. How is Holt going to come through? 2:02.7 on his first flying lap. That's put him a little bit away from his championship rival. There is more time start going through. Van der Veen comes across the line, I believe. No, not yet. Any drivers going through. We've got a 34-car grid during this qualifying at this current minute in time. One driver in 2:14. That's Giacomo Torres. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he had a bit of a mistake going through. Here's Michael Brooks for Team Footer, currently on the 2:02.599. Four flying laps. That's very, very interesting. That's going to add a lot more pressure on the drivers, I think. Because yeah, you've got 4 laps, but you got to make them count. Like, we can quite clearly see how compressed the gap is between the drivers. In GT3 cars, you know, a gap of 0.1 of a second can be, you know, quite close in reality, especially around Bathurst. Very, very technical track. Oh, okay. The camera wants to go and have a look at Bulat. The camera is fighting me today. Here we see Sven Dutchman, a Fair Racing team, and quite a striking gold and yellow livery on that Chevrolet there. Currently at a 2:02.121. 1:08.218 required for pole. Cliff Van der Veen as well, one to watch for this race, has come through the line with a 2:02.236. Very close to P6 of Timia Bensic there with a 2:02.230. It's a hard choice. If you go for an out lap, a flying lap, and then pit, you know, you can do that twice. Is it worth the fresher tyres, or is it worth getting into the groove in the first lap and just keep bashing them out? Because you have Parc Ferme, and from what I was talking to Thomas earlier, you do have to run the same fuel level, so you can't really get away with too much of an advantage. The only difference really is the tyres. Bathurst being quite painful, I think, on the front right. As well, keep in mind on the server the tile wear is set to ×2, so it's going to be a very interesting just how it all stacks up. See where drivers are. And I'll say it until the cows come home, Bathurst is a track where estimation won't get you very far. Like, for a track, the character here really is the fact that a lot of the corners are deceptive, and especially if you're battling someone around the mountain, it doesn't take much. And there isn't much distance between the middle of the track and the wall. As Sven Deutschmann apparently goes fastest in Sect 1 for 48.169. Yeah, 0.365, I think, off of himself. I'm not sure if that's saying across the whole session. Actually, no, it is. Yep. That's good to learn that my overlay seems to be jumping between the driver themselves and the whole session, but 1.7 off in Sector 2, putting in a 31.818. The top 3, I don't think has changed at all, because we now have, it's going to be the case of drivers being on their last lap, really. People still do have laps in hand, so we'll see as Sven Deutschmann goes fastest with a 201.049. Ooh, that was a good lap there by the number 50 Callaway Corvette. The fun part is with qualifying with Parc Ferme, you have to be very careful of where do I want to be versus am I going to find any driver that's out on track. Oh, please, do a lap. Or not. As he goes P5 to a 1.8. Ooh. As the session is finished, I believe so. Ooh. We'll wait and see how many drivers are left to cross the line. Only a few. Yeah, and then we'll do the rundown of the starting order. So, chat, if anyone is wanting to talk, as I'm going to switch my focus to it. What are the estimations? Looking at the quali times, where do you think people are going to come? I think the battle for the win of the championship is going to be filled with dramas today. Both from drivers wanting to win this race, but also wanting to win the championship as well between Holt and Bulat. Yeah, looking at his previous performances, Cliff van der Ven seems to have come in, missed, I think, the first 2 racing. Holt is battling Gregors Bulat for the win of the championship. They are both tied on points at 321 each. It's going to be a very close one. It's just a case of who finishes ahead of each other. It's come all the way from the first race, which, of course, I wasn't here for, only coming in for this race now, having learned of the need for a commentator, to the final race around a track with as much character as Mount Panorama. Get a good view up onto the mountain there. What better track is there, really, to finish a series on? Bathurst is a track that you can promote close bumper-to-bumper racing, but you need to be able to run very quickly around here. Macau. No, we will not. We will not go around Macau. As someone apparently gets DQ'd. Someone been DQ'd. Has someone been DQ'd for running too many laps? Let us set the starting order so we run down the set starting order. So let us now, as drivers come out for the warm-up, let us run through our starting order, which has come up for me. So, in first, we have Sven Deutschmann, followed by Fabio Zabetto. In third and fourth, we have Cliff van der Vin and Bouliat in fourth. Golab is in fifth, followed by Paul Holt. Artis Zula and Dean Vella round off the third and fourth row. In ninth, we have Michael Brooks, another Team Fursa driver, and Adam Karaszewski, who's currently in third for Luna Racing. Rulas Gomez in 11th, with Bensk in 12th. Davide Di Poli in 13th, and Folletto in 14th. Connie Janssen in 15th, with Jack Gordimania in 16th. Giancarlo Ettore in 17th, and Luca Radelli in 18th. Peter Lane in 19th, and Kostas Melistas in 20th. In 21st is Dino Faldetta, followed by Stefano Di Nadal, Richard Brooks, and Maximilian Pinter. In 25th is Jonas Largson, Pepper Blundell in 26th. 27th is Mario Salaba, and 28th is Michael Favero. 29th is Antonio Mastro. 30th is Valerio Margarito. Names. 31st is Francesco Bernardi. 33rd is Luke Holland, and 34th is Bartek Maniak. The one driver I missed, I apologise to him if he's watching, he'll probably want to punch me already, is Richie Tapple in 32nd. Please don't punch me, I like my face. Look, sometimes the overlay moves, like, very, very quickly. I don't understand what the speed is that it wants to use, as we have, I think, 8 minutes left on the warm-up. It's going to be a very interesting race. Sven Deutschmann going fastest with the main battle here, I think, that we'll be focusing on, or at least that the auto plugin will be focusing on, being the championship battle for first place. Both drivers of which are starting in 4th and 6th, with Thomas Golab trapped in the middle. Oh dear. I'm sure he will be fine. FP1, Thomas P2, Bulat P3. So you think that Bulat is going to run away with the championship today, Andrew? It's going to be interesting. I do love watching races where the... Oh. That's Luke Holland backwards there. Going first person on Luke Holland. Starting ahead, but keep in mind they could be running different pit strategies. I have someone that's... Okay. That'd be nice, thank you. Oh. The camera plugin is fighting me. There we go. Yes, when I looked at the tyre choice during qualifying, they will both be starting on the same tyres, unless they've changed for quali. So yeah, it looks like they're both starting on the same tyres. I'll just see if I have that stat anymore. Yeah, looks like, yeah, they're both starting on the same tyre. Both on the medium compound, with the top three all starting on the softs, I believe that is. Yes, medium compound for Bulat and Holt. Be an interesting one. As where'd Thomas go? Was Thomas disconnected? Oh dear. Oh dear, if Thomas is disconnected, that's going to very much throw the spanner into the works there, putting both the... He may do, yeah, if he's gone for good. I hope he comes back. Just for the added drama. Obviously, as a commentator, drama is one of the best things. Oh, as we see Alesso Foletto and I think that's Tony Janssen there together. Lying around, I can't see the 7-segment display, so I can't really tell you. It's not Janssen. Janssen's this man. Who is that behind him? P3. Oh, that's Fabio Zabetto there. A 33 or 34 car grid around Bathurst. I think today's race is going to be filled with some dramas. Both in good and in bad ways, really. The margin of error around this track, as I've said, is very, very slim. In 75 minutes, doesn't sound like a long time. But, oh, yep, yes he is. I think for these drivers, especially those, the battle for first and the battle for third in the championship, I think all of those drivers are going to be under some pressure, especially in the battle for third place, where Kawasaki and Zabetto and also Suzuka have to fight off Cliff and Vin to fight for third place. That's going to be very, very much pressure. P1 as well, Holt and Bulak. The pressure is going to be there and going to be real, and obviously all going to be things that can come about. I am not 100% sure. I can check that with the organisers in a moment. They actually didn't get told, I don't think. Is it in my notes? We will find out. Someone in the chat might know while I'm looking. Also, an update to the Park Thermo rules as well, as I just found this in my notes. The joys of being able to format and then forgetting that I formatted. Great. A quick rundown of the rules is it is going to be a 75-minute race. 2 tyre compounds are mandatory to be used during this race. I'll be very interested to see that. Setups are locked after qualifying. The top 10 starts on the same compound as they used in qualifying. Fuel is locked for every driver. So the fuel they qualified with will be the fuel they take into the race. There is 2 extra points for pole position, which would go to Sven Deutschmann, having come first in qualifying. So there's his extra 2 points for qualifying. And there is 1 point for fastest lap as well. Not sure. Let's pop into the marshalling room in Discord and have a peek at what they say. Yes.
Mustang.
Hello.
Yes.
I am the broadcaster. I've been asked in my chat, is it a standing start or a rolling start that we're using in today's race?
It's standing start with formation lap.
Okay, so you heard it from the race officials themselves. Standing start with formation lap. Thank you. I will now go back to chatting into a microphone for the next, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours-ish. Thank you. So, yep, there we hear it from the race directors themselves, that it is a standing start with a formation lap. So, standing start here, going to be very interesting to watch, especially into Hell Corner, because a tight 90-degree turn. Here, as we look at Maximilian Ames. I thought we were going to see it there, but RF2 TV was like, nope, you're not making that point. Okay, thank you, RF2 TV. So we are only a few seconds away from the start here. There is a little bit of a delay on the stream. Welcome to YouTube streaming. Sorry. Just going to be a case of we have to hope everyone gets away cleanly and everyone gets away, well, cleanly and safely. Off the start here, you can make a lot of positions up from the start. Oh, here we go. As you see Hell Corner from Alessio Folletto there as he goes into the pit. Camber goes into the apex of the corner, so really being the inside, if you can get the launch into it right, you can obviously make up a little bit of time there. So here we are. Almost at the start of the race. Here we go. There is the call that we are used to. And yes, I can. One moment, please. There we go. I have raised up the car volume a little bit. Thank you for helping me figure that one out. Here we go. Here we can see the drivers now appearing on the grid in very blurry fashion, as the RF2 camera enjoys doing. 75 minutes of GT3 racing around this legendary track. What do we think, chat? Is there going to be drama into Hell Corner off the start? See the race leader, Sven Deutschmann, hop onto the front row of the grid, and also Fabio Zabetto coming out for the formation lap. Yeah, this is the chance for the drivers to get that extra heat into their tyres, their heat into the brakes, make sure their engine mix is going to be just set up exactly how they want it. Here as now we see the cars disappear up the straight. Exactly, you have really the best chance off the start is T1 and the run up into the mountain. After that, it's very close. And you know, you're very tight in there, really. There we go, we see the drivers now come up into the mountain corner. Honestly, a beautiful sight, that. We're seeing all the GT3 cars appear through the trees over the top of the dip down that straight. Some have their lights on. One thing that R-Factor 2 never fails to do is give amazing views like that. So much so, I'm going to take a Steam screenshot of that one. Because that is actually a really nice view. Here is Cliff Van de Vin, one of the top touted drivers to win this race. His previous races have been, from what I can gather, from what people have told me in the sum up of the season so far, the races he's been in, they have apparently been quite dominant performances. Following him is Gregors Bulat, tied first place in this series in that BMW M6 GT3. Following after him, Thomas Golab. He's going to be under pressure from Hull. Is he going to hold? It's a hard thing because it's not a team benefit if he holds Hull up. He's a racer at the end of the day. He's going to want to go home at least matching what he started with, if not improving. As he weaves down the straight, with Paul Holt following soon after, tied for first place. I'm sure at the end of this race, one of those two is going to walk away very happy. With everything in racing, I hope both of them walk away very happy here. It's the last race of the season. The drivers who are up the top clearly deserve to be in the championship position they're in. Bulat and Holt clearly having worked very hard during the entire season to get to the position that they're in, tied, battling each other around the mountain to win this season. Be there or be square, exactly. Here we go. I was asked when I inquired about broadcasting the SRM series for them if it would be too late notice for me to do this, and I heard the word Bathurst, and for me it was like, I am doing that. Having myself recently just got over food poisoning, yesterday almost having to make the call that I couldn't do it because I was just sick as anything. Today feeling thankfully better and good enough to bring the coverage of this race. This race, I believe, is just going to be so suspenseful and full of drama, as we're going to focus, I think the camera's going to focus on Paul Holt off of the start. Interesting just how he does into the first corner. They're starting on the same side of the track, him and Bulat. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and we're off. A good start there by the look of it for Fabio Zabetto, beating out Deutschmann as Holt sadly loses the position to Golab, having the outside, Golab getting the inside as we run down now, down the straight. The two 720Ss are battling Holt, making the position back on Thomas Golab there as Golab slips back into the inside. Sven Deutschmann losing a position to Gregors Bulat. That's going to be something that Holt would not have wanted to see here, as it just means it's another car that he's going to have to try and pass up the mountain to get just one position closer to his championship rival. It does look like everyone gets away cleanly, however. We're going to switch the auto control back on for a little while, just see how we're doing here as we're watching Francesco Bernardi, and someone goes off. Was that Gomez? I think Gomez going off at the top of the hill, nosing it into the wall. Let's hope there's not a huge amount of damage there on the car. As we see Luke Holland, someone looks like they went off at McPhillamy. Looks like it might have been the Porsche of Lacarson. Here as the rear end of the pack enters down into the corkscrew. I have to admit, the livery that Holland is running I really like myself. Let's see if we can rejoin the battle right up the top. Yes, we can, as Van der Veen, as we expected, is already starting to gain ground on Zabetto. Here, come on Van der Veen, if you want this win around Bathurst, you've got this man to get past. Oh, I think for a start around Bathurst, everyone got away pretty cleanly as Zabetto goes wide into Hell Corner. That's going to open the door up for Van der Veen to try and make the move down the straight. Yes, he does. He goes left-hand side as they come over the dip. He's got in front, but not by much. Zabetto dips back before the first turn of the mountain, which puts Cliff Van der Veen into first position. Here we see Paul Holt with Adam Kozecki, names, I apologise, coming up behind him in the BMW M6. This last thing he's going to want is to be under immense pressure and have to defend from a driver behind, where obviously his championship rival can start being in clean air and opening up that gap. It's early days, however, in the race, so keep that in mind as now we look at Timo Bensick. Here with many cars coming over Skyline. Oh, we get some onboard. Look at the amount of lock you have to take into corkscrew. The issue with it, when I was driving it a little while ago, trying to just learn the corner names, the majority of them I have, you have to commit over corkscrew because the front tyres do sometimes lift off the floor. Oh, as we hear all of that engine sound there. Is Bensick gonna... Yep, fella looking to make a move down the Conrod, having the draft. Is the M6 powerful enough to get there, or are they gonna have to fight into the chase? Oh, Vela coming very close into the chase, but Vensic looking back up the inside of Vela there. Vela going off wide with Bensic right at the back. Oh, defending there. Bensic looking down the inside of Murray corner, but dips back. Looks like he thinks better of it. Yep, the gap there. Looks like there might have been some contact behind for Davide Di Poli. Oh, an early battle. Woo! As there is a yellow flag in Sector 3. Luke Hollum has retired. And also, Mario Salvia has retired as well. Was there a crash? We're not sure. Oh dear. Let's see if we can get a view of that. Can we possibly see this? Oh yeah, here we go. Not sure what happens there, but looks like something happens. Not really 100% sure. Did he just go off at the chase and nose it in? Someone as well is in the pits. That's Francesco. But no, I don't think it's the name we're looking for here. Yeah, here he is. Francesco Bernardi. That's the name. Private Mario. Yep. So we've already got 2 retirements. Luke Hollum and Mario Salvia. Ooh. Not what you want to have around here. Honestly, Paul Holt there. Oh, as we now move on to Giacomo Ettore in the Porsche. Quite a striking looking Porsche actually with that orange, white and black livery. For me, remember as a commentator, this is the first time seeing both these drivers and these cars as well. Very interesting for me just to watch. Because I don't know a lot about these drivers. I've gotten a vague rundown of the ones to watch, but Ettore there going wide at the Liquid Moly bridge. Is that going to open him up? Gordemain behind in the Callaway Corvette. It could do. Oh, someone taking the inside there. Was that Di Poli onto Hell Corner? An interesting line to take around it. Here is Gomez down in 23rd in the Corvette. Ooh. For Francesco Bernard, it's going to be a very, very interesting battle to get back up. As Fuldetta retires or just doesn't come up to a lap, I'm not sure. He's falling down the grid, I think, so he might be there. There's Richard Brooks, a car that doesn't really seem to know what a side window is meant to be. I think they're meant to be see-through, but you never know these days, you know, so many... Oh, he loses the front there into the cutting. Oh, you see what happens when you lose the front. That's it. Round he goes into the wall. Favero has to take evasive action there. Oh, that could be some quite heavy damage for that Aston Martin as Favero goes round, T-bones him at the top there into Solomon Park. That's something that both cars aren't going to want. That's going to be more damage for the Aston Martin. Also quite heavy damage for the Ferrari. Oh dear. As we're back with Ettore, who is currently running in P13. It does look like he's going to be on the back of the Di Poli there, though. Remember, you get a lot of hope down the straights, especially down Conrod. You get a lot of aerodynamic benefit. Problem is, you need to keep it going through the chase to either try and get it down the pit stop straight or even over the Liquid Moly bridge. With Gordon May behind 0.5 seconds. Could this battle be neutralised? I'm not sure. That's someone in the pits. It's a Ferrari. Not sure what one. Either Fuldetta or Bernard. I think it might be Fuldetta. Actually, yes, Dino Fuldetta having picked up a penalty. That's going to be something that will change his strategy for this race, as we still have an hour and 6 minutes left on the clock. Wow. Oh, we get some onboard action here. Because here we are with Sven Deutschmann, who's made the move on Bulat, actually putting Bulat behind, and Paul Holt begging up the rear at him. Oh no, that's not going to be what Bulat wanted to see. The blue Ferrari that looks actually quite black if you get it in the right light, bearing behind him. Oh yes, let's see if we can continue to focus on that battle between Bulat and Holt. Here we go, you can see Bulat there ahead, you can see he's got the draft on, I think he might have the draft on Deutschmann and Zabetto as well, as Deutschmann moves up into second place, ahead of that McLaren. Can Bulat make the move down the straight after hell? Can Holt make the move down the straight after hell? That is the question. Because once you get up into the mountain, overtaking becomes an entirely more difficult challenge. Wow, already this race has provided. We asked for drama, we asked for overtakes, we asked for stuff to be happening, and right now the race has not disappointed. Paul Holt gonna have his foot to the floor, I think, under a second there, only 0.75, 0.85 now down, as you can see the impact of draft. Zabetto, they're going too wide into the first corner, there's contact! There is contact between Zabetto and Bulat as Holt tries to go around the outside of the McLaren. Is he going to get it into the cutting? They make contact. Holt goes round, he hits the wall. As Zabetto takes the brunt of that impact. Oh no, that's unbelievable. They went too wide around the corner. Here we go, we can see it again. Here, as we see, they go round the corner. You see Holt turns in. The contact is made. The McLaren of Zabetto staying true as Holt goes round the back, smacks into that wall there, which then also sends Zabetto around. Holt manages to hold it, but Zabetto doesn't manage to keep it there. That's gonna hopefully not be a lot of damage for Paul Holt, because he needs to catch up to Bulat now. They both have clean air. I'm sure that's gonna be something we're gonna want to hear about in the post-race interviews. The one thing I am surprised about is the fact that that rear wing stayed on. If you get enough rear damage in R-Factor 2, your rear wing will come off, as both drivers, Bulat and Holt, take to the grass a little bit there through the chase. If we just compare the last lap times there, Holt having, not sure, apparently went a second faster last lap, not sure about this lap. We'll find out. Wow, let's have some audience interaction if anyone wants to. How are you finding the start of this race? It's already been very intense. And I don't think the fight for the win of the Drivers' Championship is over yet. Also, if people are wondering about the frame drops, it's just me setting the R-Factor 2 camera to automatically turn on. Sadly, the game does drop down to half FPS, which is 30 as I record and stream these at 60. That's just something R-Factor 2 does. Wow. Bentley there as we look at Tony Jansen on the back of Michael Brooks. He hits the outside wall there, one of the Fair Racing Team cars. Oh, that's going to really open him up to the two cars behind. The Poli and the Tora don't look down the inside into McPhillamy. It's a fast corner and there is a bump there that can lead the front off the track. Wow. I have to admit, I do like the design on the Fair Racing Team cars. The dark blue and the yellow work really well. Oh, as we switch the camera to the action of DePoli versus Atora. Yep, looking down the inside of Conrad. Go on, Atora, you can get him down there. You get enough benefit to really hold it and have it into the chase. Yep. Quite a textbook pass there. As we get a yellow flag in Sector 2, I wonder what's happened. It hasn't switched to it, so whatever the issue might be, it looks like it's been resolved quickly. As Janssen is on the back of Michael Brooks, tries to go down pit straight. Is it going to be an overtake into Hell Corner? Yep, yeah, it is. Cover off the inside. A pretty nice and pretty simple overtake there to make as Atora gets the back out a little bit, which opens him up for DePoli to retake the position. Thank you very much, I'll have that. Oh, so as we're running, as we go into the hour remaining mark, as Brooks loses the back there. I think he might have avoided the wall, but we're not sure. The camera switched away to Lagarson. Yep, I think he avoided the wall there, seeing as the yellow flag was cleared quite quickly. Brulas Gomez dropping out of the race as well. So, as it stands, the top 6 are as follows. Cliff van der Vin in first place, followed by Sven Deutschmann, Gregors Bulat, Paul Holt, Adam Kawaseki. I'm really bad at names, I apologise. I hope none of the drivers get offended by that. With Artur Siskula behind, followed by Thomas Golab, Dean Vella, Davide DePoli. As we cut back to an action of a Bentley overtaking a 720S. That is Foletto overtaking Mostro. That's going to open me up now onto the back of the Ferrari driven by Valero. My overlay cuts the names off a bit too long for some of the longer names. Margarito. I'm sorry, I barely speak my own language. What a striking light blue livery. Something weird to see on a Ferrari is it's not painted red. I always find that weird if a Ferrari isn't painted red, because I'm so used to seeing them in red or at a stretch in black. Seeing them in other colours is obviously quite interesting. Oh, as we switch back to Sven Deutschmann, who's in P2. Oh, listen to the bass of that Chevrolet engine there. Probably one of my favourite sounding cars on the grid is that Chevrolet. Very actually followed by the BMW, believe it or not. So as we head into the hour mark, we have a grand total of 31 drivers still running, 3 DNFs, which is a shame. But let's have a try down the outside of Murray there. We cut to it just a bit before. And try down the inside, we'll find out. No holds back. As 2 drivers head into the pits. Not sure who that is, we will find out. I think... I'm not actually sure who that is. The thing hasn't told me. Which is great when it does that. You know, always a fun time. We are looking like we are very much sticking with this battle. There is, I think, Ben Sick behind as up into the cutting Foletto tries to get around. Wow, that's a very unusual place to make a move around here. Oh, just narrowly avoids that outside wall as we head into Suleiman Park. That crest has seen a lot of drivers make mistakes already, either by getting the back out or, as we saw with Michael Brooks, going wide, hitting the wall, then getting the Ferrari of Bensick into his side as well. Here we see Luca Rodelli on the back of Giacomo Ettore, I think that is. The drivers might be heading into a pit stop just to try and run a very long strategy for the last hour. I'm not sure. We will have post-race interviews at the end of this session. We might not get around to talking to everyone. But I'm sure there will be drivers who the viewers would like me to commentate. If there is, please make sure you put it in the chat and I will take note and try my hardest to interview those drivers. Obviously, the winners of the race and the contenders in the Drivers' Championship, of course. But if there's anyone else from sort of mid-pack to lower down the field that interviews are wanted of, I can try and make that happen. Here's Peter Lane. So there is a very quick yellow into Sector 1 there. Oh, here we go. Giancarlo Ettore on the back of Luca Rodelli as they go up into McPhillamy Park. I'm not sure if that's just desync or they do get the front up there just that much. I have to ask, I'm not sure if that's desync over Skyline or if it is they're just getting the front of the car up. I know you get the front up into Corkscrew, which they've just gone through as you run down the hill. Oh, as Ettore goes very wide, ends up on the side of the car. Oh, are you going? Is there anyone coming? There was into the Aston Martin of Peter Lane. Thankfully avoids the collision, pulls forward enough. That might be heavy damage there. Nosed into the wall, then ended up sideways as Favero also heads out of the race. Here we see Artis Siskula, currently P3 in the Drivers' Championship. I think with how the race stacks up at the moment, Cliff van der Ven will take third place in the Drivers' Championship today. Running in first place with a around 2.5 second gap, which is now extended to a 3-second gap between himself and Sven Deutschmann. Here's Dean Vella in quite a striking GT Omega RPM Esports BMW. He's got Thomas Golab for Team Futter behind him. Not by much. Either. It's quite a small gap, relatively speaking. Here is Jacques Giordmania. Currently in 26th position. The last of the cars to have not been lapped. But as you can see, Van der Ven is behind him. So let's hope a quick and easy pass can happen. Here is Karaswecki again. I think the game is trying... I think the camera plugin I use is thinking that people are going very slow through Skyline, which is a slow corner anyway, and is going, oh, look at them, they're going slow, they're going to crash. And it's like, no. We get a yellow flag in Sector 3. Has something happened? It gets cleared pretty quickly, so I'm sure that whatever it was, it might have just been someone going off at the chase, or Murray's corner. Here it's Thomas Golab in the McLaren 720S. Team Fuster there. I will ask him at the end of the race how you pronounce it, because I am 99% sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Ooh, that's a weird place to make a move there, Zabeto, but has he made it stick? He's made it stick on Peter Lane, but now Lane is going to get the draft down Conrad. Zabeto actually moves out the way, it looked like. Is that to deny Holt the draft, or is it so Holt can get past? Yep, Holt makes the move, I think, or is it going to run down into the chase? He's got the inside line. Oh, as Holt goes off he goes into the chase there. Don't know if he got maybe a bit startled. But, oh, that's probably one of the better places to go off around this circuit. Because you do at least get a little bit of runoff there, but not at the bit that he went off. He sort of hit the wall, really, which is never good. Here is Peter Lane now down in P15 with Maximum Inter in front of him, and Stefano Di Nada behind as Ettore goes into the pits. I think with that damage he picked up from the collision there on the last corner of the mountain before Conrad. Oh, was that someone else behind going very wide? I think that might have been Richard Brooks. There, as he had issues? I'm not sure. Can we see any damage on the car? No, I'm not sure if these liveries have damage layers myself. Might do, so. Ooh. We are coming up to the 50-minute remaining mark. Yeah, a second between Holt and Bulat. Let's quickly turn off auto control and switch to that battle. Yeah, let's just see. Can Holt make the most of it? They're coming up to the straight. It's a very good location to start gaining on an opponent. You can see two drivers ahead. I think that might be Deutschman lapping Gordemain. They're going to have a lapped car to deal with as well, I believe. Is that Gordemain? It looks like it. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that is Gordemain. This battle, I think, is going to get spicy. But there are 30 cars running at this current minute in time. The first lap has been very, very interesting as we come up to the 50-minute remaining mark. 50 more minutes of action here at the Mount Panorama circuit. I'm sorry if you're going to type in Dutch in the chat. I'm not going to be able to respond as it's a language I don't know. I apologise about this. I can just about speak English. I have Dennis van der Vin in the chat. I have a question for Dennis van der Vin. Are you Cliff van der Vin's brother or father? I'm not sure. I would actually like to know. Because that is something I've actually been trying to figure out for the past 2 days. Oh, you're his brother. Ah, I see. And are you pleased with his performance in the series so far? How do you think he's getting on? As yeah, we see Paul Holt there closing up the gap quite well. Is he going to have to manage? Is he gonna get past Gordemain down the straight? He's not. We got to hope that I think Holt does want to get past him down the straight. That's going to be something. Going to be crucial to him. Passing any car, if not race traffic. Yeah, as Gordemain concedes the position. Good little bit of sportsmanship there from Gordemain. Saw a good opportunity to concede the track position to allow the battle for third place, and more importantly, the win of the championship to carry on. Older and wiser. Yes, obviously older and wiser. Aim for everyone. Here we see Michael Brooks for Team Forza having, I think he had a bit of drama up in the skyline as we look inside of that Aston Martin, which I wonder if they would like any LED with their dashboard. I don't think they have enough. Ooh. Are you going to be looking at the back of Richie Tackle by any chance? He is. Ooh, goes a little bit off there into Murray Corner. Has to slow down by the look of it. That's it, Brooks. You're now going to have to keep your head down and just try to make that position up again as Paul Holt within sub a second, I think, of yeah, here we are again. Watching the battle. Well, I say the battle, watching Holt push that 720S to try and catch up. Oh, it's going to be something very interesting to see. I think as well the chat divided on who they're supporting out of the battle between Holt and Bulat here. If you haven't voted already, if I knew how to, I'd put a vote. Ooh. 7/10 in the middle sector. That's a bit of a painful one. Yeah, you can see the gap starting to extend as we get another yellow flag in sector 2. A long one by the look of it as well. There, as it clears up. Let's just open up the auto control for a little bit longer. See where we are. Here is Alessio Folletto. Yeah, you can sometimes tell with how R Factor does the yellow flags if it is like a big issue or if it's just something small that's happened. He's on the back of Bartek Masiak. Bentley v BMW, the two largest cars on the grid, I believe. I don't think there's any car bigger on the grid. Only about 0.6 of a second, 0.5 of a second gap as they go through Skyline. The gap thing for me isn't working very well as one heads into the pits, so it looks like pit stops might be starting now. Here is Sven Deutschmann chasing the back of Cliff van der Veen, but is he going to be able to open the gap? As there is a lapped Aston Martin ahead. I think van der Veen might be very far away for him to catch up to, so he's just got to extend that gap between himself and Bulat. Walk away with P2. Bulat v Holt, as you can see them close behind each other. In GT3 terms, Jonas Lagarson here gained on the cliff. I think what we will do is we will actually go and look at that battle for a little bit of some stats, because I like my stats. Here we are down Conrad Straight. We compare their last lap times together if it will do it. The last lap time for Bulat was a 202.6. with Holt being 0.619 lower that lap. Let's see how we stack up this lap. Yeah, they both come across the line. The Poli has gotten a penalty. 0.462 faster than Bulat, so he is gaining. Does he take to the grass there? He does a little bit. You can see the time up. This is going to be a very close-knit thing. Both of these drivers will know that it is for the win of the championship. This is just where they've got to be. They've got to be racing each other. Might be a case of Bulat just wanting to push, maybe not to catch Deutschmann, but just to extend that gap between himself and Holt. Now we see him head up into Suleiman Park with the crest that has taken a fair few drivers so far this race. We're at 43 minutes and a few seconds remaining. We have a very interesting one. See how it works as the gap is now hovering around a second as they head into Skyline. Come on, Holt, make the most of the road here. I'm sure it's going to be going through his head, you know, make the most of the road. Exactly. Outright pace is one thing in this, which I class as semi-endurance racing, as I head past the 21st driver, who's one of the McLarens there, as Lane heads into the pits. Probably not the place you want to look at getting lapped cars is into the chase. It could play off better for Holt, though. Oh dear. As we have a few DNF drivers. Lane dropping down into position 18. Holt there flashing his lights. Yep. As as someone's round, that's the blue Ferrari. Oh, I think that's Foldetta that's gone round there. That would have caused out yellow flags. We get a yellow flag in sector 3 as well, but it's pretty clear on. It comes back, but I think it's there still at this moment in time. I'm now going to turn my overlay back on. So one thing that people might not know, and this is the reason why I can't overly see pit stops, is because of the fact that I run a different overlay which shows me everyone. Let's actually open up that into this page. There we go, let's just open up my overlay there. Yeah, as I said earlier, the gap is torn, but the gap between Boulat and Holt dropping down now to about 1.3, 1.5 seconds. There is still time left for Holt, however, to obviously, you know, gain. Boulat hit the wall, did he? Oh, as there is a lapped Aston Martin ahead. Not sure who that one is. Not sure who it is. It's P18, I believe, which is that Timmy Bensick or is that P17? I'm not. P18. So yep, Bensick there. Oh dear, my YouTube has just scrolled down. Oh, Bensick, mate, you need to have that position. You need a handover track position as Holt flashes his lights. That's not going to be something he's going to want to see there. As an Aston Martin not conceding for blue flags. As Bensick, I think that is concedes the track position, but that has widened the gap between Holt and Bensick now to about 1.4 seconds. We head into the 40 minutes remaining mark. I am smart, and I didn't remember to bring a drink up with me for this race. It's great. Well done, me. Thank you, I'm here all night. Oh dear, come on, Holt, mate. You need to pick the pace up now. You're stuck behind a lapped Audi for a lapped Aston Martin for a little bit. You need to now just see if you can actually grab that gap back, and it does look like he might as they head up into cutting. And the gap's stagnating just a little bit. 29 drivers now running, Richie Tappet having also retired from the race. There's a gap now, 1.1 seconds as they head into McPhillamy Park. Now drops to sub a second as they head over Skyline. It looks like Holt is quicker through McPhillamy, but it looks like he dropped back a little bit through Corkscrew and Skyline. Exactly. There's, 40 minutes around left. You can hold back your time a little bit. They've still both got to make a pit stop. So, obviously the strategist in their mind might be at play here. Not sure if these drivers have actual people that do strategy for them or if it's something that they think about before and during the race, in fact. Because they have to make one pit stop and switch to a different compound of tyre as well, which if people are interested, Boulat and Holt are on the same compound of tyre. They are both on the mediums. There's also a lapped Ferrari ahead. Couldn't see the display on that one. The gap hovering at around a second. Now about a second. I think this is the battle that we want to stick with for now, just to see. As yet, lap cars are now starting to become a factor of play. Here, maybe not going to be able to get them down this long straight, so might be a case of can the Holt make the most of Boulat having to overtake, or is Boulat going to get the luck as both the lap cars go too wide there for a little bit. Boulat gets past the Ferrari as they head up into the cutting. Here, the Ferrari gets about very loose. I'm guessing the lights from that 720S are going to be flashing. There is Filato in front as they head up into Solomon Park. Oh, Filato, mate, you're going to need to hold your line as Holt gets past a lap vehicle now. They're both in clean air again once more, but the gap has extended to 1.5, 1.6 seconds around that margin. Head into Skyline. Now we see quite a few drivers looking at taking pit stops at this point in time. My overlay laptop having crashed a little bit. Come on, overlay laptop. Yep, GoLab has pitted. Thomas GoLab in the pits. We also have another driver of Janssen in the pits as well. I can see at this current minute in time. Yep, there is Holt flashing the current 16th mod. Margasio and DePoli as well in pits. The Porsche conceding a position by going wide. Quite a nice move there, actually. Well done from the Porsche driver there. The gap, however, has extended to 2.3 seconds. Ooh, that's going to be something very, very interesting, very, very touchy. So we're now going to just throw the auto control back on as it's complaining about a 3-wide battle. And yeah, here it is. Michael Brooks, I think, on the back of the Nardell there, but also taking attack from Bernard behind as Brooks goes through, but the Porsche trying to squeeze out the opportunity there. The 720S behind of Bernarda, trying to look down the right-hand side, and Conrad Straight gets squeezed out. The door gets shut. All drivers now going to have to head into the chase. Make use of that right-hand section of track as the 720S of Bernari goes very wide and very off. Let's try and see if we can have a look at what happened here. Here we see, or not, as we cut back to the pits with Dean Vella. Thank you, game, for Factor 2 overlay really hates me sometimes. Zanardo went off very much. Oh, that was... Right, it wasn't, was it? It was Bernardi. I'm getting my names mixed up here. As I think Deutschmann also pitted that time out. It looks like it. But it looks like we're going to start getting the pit strategy. Here is Richard Brooks. Not sure if he has any relation to Michael Brooks on the grid. I'm expecting he does. Here we see Fabio Zarbetto. I don't get why the overlay is wanting to try and say this is a battle, because it's not. It's not really a battle game, but, you know, thank you for attempting, at least. We think, yeah, the joys of coming into a series where you don't know the drivers. 34 minutes remaining on the clock, actually more about like 33 minutes, 30 seconds. Because delay. Lovely. But we're switching back to Paul Holt. Still gonna have Gregor Zbula in sight. Here, 2.8 seconds behind the BMW. Van der Vin being quite happily ahead there. .2-second gap as they head into Skyline. Looking at him himself, if we can have the camera stick. But here he is, Gregor Zbula, as the current standings go. If he keeps this position up, he will win the Drivers' Championship. As he starts to flash the 25th position car of Antelio Mastro. There's he going to have to try and look like he's going to make the move into the chase. Oh, Gregor's look out down the inside as they have a crash. The McLaren 720S of Mastello goes round. That's really smacked the gap of Paul Holt, who goes into the pits. Is he going to try to get the undercut there as he goes very wide? Paul Holt misses the pit lane entrance. Hits the wall, has to reverse. That is not what he's going to have wanted. I'm not sure what the stewards are going to say about that one. Was he technically in the pit, or did he have to go forward? Will the stewards have something to say post-race there? Drama for Paul Holt already this race, having had that incident that might have caused damage around the cutting with a lapped car. That was of Zabello, I believe. And also having drama there on the pit lane entry. Oh dear. I'm sure if Gregors Bulat knew what had just happened behind him, if he saw it, he's gonna be sat there thinking, yes, this is now my chance. Push, push, push. Richard Brooks obtaining a penalty. I'm not sure what that's for, but he will have to take it. Drama N happening, as we've got two cars from Luna Racing, the number 88 and the number 98. This is Kula and Bulat. Teammates here. I'm curious of what Bulat is going to do, as Paul Holt has reached his pit stop already, coming out onto the track. A 1:16.6 full length time with a pit stop of 43.2 seconds. I think if he does have damage, he hasn't repaired it, or it might have just been very light. Because we're now going to switch to... There was a battle happening somewhere. The aim has lost it. Yeah, sure, let's look at Paul Holt for a little bit. We head into the half an hour remaining mark. There's still a lot to be played for. As Bulat takes the lead, as Cliff van der Ven has come into the pit lane. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Not sure what's caused that. Bulat now running in first place on the back of the 12th position car of Tony Janssen, one of the FRS racing team. Teammate obviously being Paul Holt. Yep, Bulat gets past Janssen there into the position. This is the section of the track you have to be set up for. Suleiman Park that they've just gone through here. Now coming up into McPhillamy Park. Get it wrong, there is a bump in that sand on the real world track. Not sure if it exists on this mod version. Now multiple cars come into the here, I think Siskula and Rodelli also come into the pits. Here, as Van der Ven comes out with a 1:21.6 full time, or I think that was a 45.2 second pit stop. Bulat now bearing down on the back of Bartek Masiak, who's in P11. Very nice and easy place to overtake. Lapped cars down the Conrod straight. It's a long straight as you run up into the chase. Very, very useful there. As I think that is Rodelli as well, has come in for his pit stop. Is Bulat going to come in for his pit, or is he running long? He is on the medium tyre. Yep, Bulat coming in for the pit. Is he going to manage to get into the pit nice and cleanly? Hits the sand on the way in, but he is there. Now it's going to be the case of Paul Holt, who is a long, long way behind now to try and make up the time. He might, I don't think he's going to get out in front, but he might get out, you know, close behind. That mistake into the entrance of the pit lane probably not helping here. I think if he didn't do that, he would have been quite close. Come on, Paul Holt. I think he's thinking to himself, not FRS, it's FRT. Oh yeah, alright. As he comes down onto the Conrod straight. The average pit stop time seems to be about 43-44 seconds. Bulat now heading into the 30 seconds in the pit box. It's going to be close. Don't think he's going to do it. As Bulat now 45 seconds in the pit box, 46, 47.3. He's been released onto the track. Out he comes. Cliff van der Ven going past. Deutschman, I think, also going past. Paul Holt, are you going to make it? We can see the blue FRT McLaren in the background coming down the straight. As Bulat heads across the speed limit line out onto the straight, gets out with quite a nice gap ahead of Paul Holt of 5 seconds. Oh, I'm pretty sure that if Holt didn't make the mistake going into the pit lane, he would have come out ahead there. That did cost him a lot of valuable time. As Koswecki comes into the pit, the other Lunar Racing car. We're down as well to 28 drivers. Giancarlo Ettore having retired. I think the damage on the car was probably a bit too much. It did end up on its side for a few seconds. Holt as well setting a PB, I think, through Sector 1. The session best through Sector 2, but off pace a little bit as he sets the session fastest through Sector 1 of a 48.013. He's shot that gap down now to about 3 seconds there about. He's got a Porsche in front that's a lapped car. That's the P16 car of Kostas Melistas. But it looks like he's going to be able to lap him on the Conrod straight. Is he going to make the most of that dive? Does he back the ball a little bit, the rear of the car? Looks like it. Yep, definitely sitting in that draft. Flash, 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 get out of my way. As he goes past here, Porsche slots back into place. He is a driver that makes use of the extra bit of tarmac that they've got on the right-hand side of the Conrod. Fun fact about the edge of the Conrod as Mensick comes into the pits. 1 year in V8 Supercars, they removed it, and drivers and fans hated it because it meant that you had to slow down a lot for the chase in the V8 Supercars. Not really sure how fast you have to take if you need to really take it. Paul Holt putting in the best time of a 2:08.851. Wow. He really is hammering that car to try and catch up to Bulat. Did I just see a penalty or was that fastest time? Oh, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. I think it might have just been fastest time. I hope it was. I hope it wasn't a penalty. As GoLab DNFs. What happened to GoLab? Looks like he's gone off the track, comes back on. What happened? I'm sure what did happen to GoLab? Heads down the inside and just retires. Not sure what's happening there. As Pinter, I think, also comes into the pits. Oh god, camera is having a bit of fun. Here we see Paul Holt on the Fair Racing team with a 3.7 gap in front to Bulat, who has a around 3 second gap to Deutschmann ahead of him, but it is slowly falling. As 2 more drivers come into the pit. Pinter and Masiak. There, P11 and 12 at this current minute in time. Pinter is going to be released soon, I believe. The average pit stop time does seem to be around the 34. I think it's the first I've seen so far. I think he might actually have damage in the 50 seconds of the pit stop. So we're going to be taken down to 27 drivers remaining. Wow. That's quite a close battle there. Keep in mind we still have around 22 minutes remaining as Bulat sets the fastest time. A 2:08.46. Gap being 4.7 seconds. We're going to sit back down now onto the auto control and see what the plugin shows for us. As we look at Kawasaki on the back of Zabetto, I think that is ahead. Yeah, this is a battle for position. The orange McLaren against the Lunar Racing BMW as they head into the chase. Great card here. These cars have ABS. BMW comes in very hot, closes that gap up quite nicely. Is he going to think about making a move down into Murray Corner? No, doesn't set the car up for it. Misses the apex a little bit there. Just avoids going onto the grass. People also wondering, only the top 10 with Gokuzweki there being in, obviously, 10th. Here we see Bula on the back of Sven Deutschmann. Here we go. He needs to get past. This is a battle for position, so Deutschmann has absolutely no... It has absolutely no reason to make it easy. It is a battle for position in the race, not a battle for championship, but it's a battle for position. Is he going to try down the inside here? No, dips back. That's put a car between Holt and Bula. As we see the white Aston Martin of, I think that's Michael Brooks, behind, just sort of existing. He was currently in P11, actually. The Sven Deutschmann. Ooh. Okay, camera, have a little bit of self-control there. Full hole. 4.2 seconds between him and Deutschmann. Probably also pronouncing that wrong. Apologise. 20 minutes left on the clock here. Hand it back over to auto control. Here is Luca Rodelli and another one of the bright orange McLarens. Famously the colour of their F1 car. He's on the back of Tommy Janssen in P7. Both in the same car, both in that 720S. Hits the grass on the outside, I think. One of the independent entries as well. Not having a livery, using one of the base game ones that comes with the McLaren 720S. But as we look at Bartek Masiak, who's quite wide actually. He's on the back of Stefano Donata. So a current position update here for people that are wondering. We'll get it sharp on the screen so I can use all of the fancy graphics. Come on, fancy graphics. Currently in first place is Cliff van der Vin, followed by Sven Deutschmann. I don't think that's right. No, it's not. Is it? Sure, actually. Might be. I don't think it is. Apparently followed by Bruce Bula, Paul Holt, Siskula, Bella, Pinter, Gola. Yeah, that's not right. That's broken. Very much broken. Didn't expect that to be so broken. Well, now the entire overlay has broken. Great! Technical issues. I was really excited to get to use that actually. But it said no. Okay, as we look on the back of Team of Bensick with Peter Lane behind with a gap of about 0.6 of a second as they head into Hell Corner. Ooh, was that the BMW of Masiak ahead or the Porsche of Stefano Donata? That also goes wide into Hell Corner, touches onto the grass. 27 cars remaining in the running. One of the achievements, like Le Mans, Bathurst is very hard to complete a race around, especially for over an hour. The track that wants you to make mistakes is a track that shows you to make mistakes. The fact of the matter is, it's a very difficult track. Some think it's more difficult than the Nordschleife. Shorter lap, which some might say might make it easy, but in reality, oh, okay, hello Bensick there. Behind, made up quite a lot of room on Masiak. 3-car battle here for P13, I think. As if we look ahead, the gap between Holt and Mulat has sadly extended to, I think, about 9 seconds. As down the Conrod straight, Massiak goes too wide with Donada, but the Porsche has a bit more straight line speed. Is he going to try it again as they go into the chase? Making the most cuts across the front does Donada. Massiak has to drop back as now they go on the run into Murray Corner. Massiak loses the rear, which allows Bensick to go through pretty easily there. Not a mistake not a mistake you want to make, really. I mean, you don't want to make any. If we put it, 100% seriously. Here we go, Bensick on the back of the Nada. 0.2 second gap. Is he going to make it? Down the straight. Oh, to the outside he goes. The Porsche starts to squeeze a little bit. Hold your line, mate. He's there now as they head up into the first corner of the mountain. Can't remember what the name is. I do apologise. Makes the move pretty happily. Opens it up to Massiak, who also makes a move up the inside. Or is Donada going to come through into the cutting? No, he's not. Holt is only 4 seconds back. Oh, even better. Oh, Holt made a move up into P3. That's something that we didn't see. As we were following this battle that was unfolding. Here is Holt. Thomas retired, and I'm not sure why. He went off into the chase, which is the corner that Holt is just coming through now. Someone else goes off into the chase. It's one of the bright orange McLarens. And then just sort of came back onto the track and retired. So I'm not 100% sure as what happened there. We'll probably, well, we will ask him at the end of the race. Any driver that has sort of, most of the drivers who have DNF'd, if we have time at the end for the post-race interviews, I do want to ask I do like to know why drivers have retired. Please keep in mind, I will continue to say this, any drivers who are in the mid-pack or towards the end of the field, who you want me to interview at the end of the race in post-race interviews, put them in the chat and I will try my hardest to make it happen. Obviously no promises, but could happen. Now look at Karaswecki. It looks like the battle for P3 in the Drivers' Championship has been decided. Cliff van der Veen, even though we haven't seen him much this race, is a telltale sign of a commanding performance. Holt does need to close that gap. You are very true, as the gap between the two is 5 seconds. Best lap currently so far being held by Bulat of a 2:08.46. Oh, as we see Richard Brooks now on the back of Jack Gordon-May. Sort of has a look but doesn't fully make it. Gordon-May going very wide there on the exit. That's going to open up the gap very nicely for Brooks. You're going to try into the cutting. No, a little bit too far back. Yeah, as we see a driver head into the pits. My other overlay is covering that up, so I apologise that I can't tell you who it is. Brooks! Ooh, and very loose at the top there, taking the outside wall into Suleiman Park. That's going to have opened the gap up for Gordon May to start pulling away. We head in now to 12 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. There it is in the pit lane. Is quite heavily damaged. Andrew I was closing to P5, and then I'll not tell who. Moved in the braking zone after long straight and brake testing me. Oh dear, that's not something very very good that you want. Is a lapped car putting you out of the race, but it is still motorsport. Obviously, you know, motorsport is the same in the real world as in the sim world. A lot can happen, and you need to be prepared for everything. Lap traffic, even if most people will say it is a game, they don't go ghost mode like they do in your grid and your F1 2020s. Here we see Kostas Melistas on the back of Jonas Larsson. Well, they come very hot into the chase. Yeah, I do really like to see how hot the drivers do come into the chase. It must be terrifying for them. Almost at the 10-minute remaining mark. Full halt 4.7, 5 seconds. Behind Bula, I'm not sure if he is going to be able to make the opportunity. He has had some slight bad turn of luck this race. Being damaged in, I think damaged anyway, into the cutting, which the corner we're in now. Here is Tony Janssen, the other Fair Racing team driver. Ooh. This race, we did ask at the start, you know, let's have an entertaining race. As Janssen goes on off at McPhillamy Park, not sure if anything happens as we cut to the battle between Peter Lane and Stefano Donata. Looks like it's a very short yellow flag, so I think he did get out of that quite cleanly. He did collect the wall though on the inside as we head into the 10-minute remaining mark. Here we go, Peter Lane down the Conrod Straight. Is he going to be able to make up the move to get 14th place off of Stefano Donata? No, he's not. Is he going to have a look into chase? Get another yellow flag in Sector 2. Bartek Masiak has retired from the race as well. And yeah, I think I agree with chat. As time goes on, the chance for Full Halt to win this race and the battle and the championship really is falling. We do have nine-ish minutes remaining. 9 minutes, either one of them could make a mistake. We will be speaking to both of them. Here we see Goldmania on the back of Peter Lane and Stefano Donata. Quite a close three-car battle here for P14. Might be a case that Goldmania is just sort of sitting back. Here, as we've got 8.5 minutes remaining through into the complex of Suleiman Park. Oh, we look back to the cutting. Adam Krasecki on the back of Tony Janssen. Looks like did he lose a position? Was he in 7th? I'm not sure. He either lost a position or didn't lose anything apart from time. Clearly, this has been a very good race. The organisers who did decide on Bathurst, I'm not sure how they decided, chose a track that I think everyone knew when it was drawn was going to be one hell of a corker. It really is a track that brings out, it's a battle of attrition. In some cases, it really does test drivers. Lapped traffic ahead, I think that's Richard Brooks. Yeah, looks like it, as Jensen tries to get the draft off of him, but I don't really think it makes much difference. Jack Gorman has moved up to P14 on Peter Lane. Here, he's keeping that gap to just about half a second. Gorman looks like he gets a bit loose. We get a yellow flag in Sector 3, clearly quite quickly cleaned up, however. On the back of the Callaway GT3 is that Aston Martin. Not sure how the BOP balances the cars in this series, but I think in base it's sort of the GT3 Callaway decimates everything. Yes, he did crash on pit entry. He went wide. I think he did collect the barrier on the outside, backed it up as no one was coming and went into the pit lane. I think if he didn't do that, or if it wasn't as bad, he would have got out ahead as Peter Lane goes past Gorman. They're going to be opened up. Yeah, when Bulak came into the pits, he left the pits with about 5-ish seconds between him and Paul Holt. It was honestly not something that Paul Holt would have wanted. As a driver, a mistake going into the pit lane after you've kept up competitive pace. You know, even if you're not battling for the championship, it's gonna hurt. Even if you're battling for the championship or not. Here is our race leader, Cliff van der Ven. I think he is going to wrap this one up as we've got about 5.5 minutes remaining. My voice is gone. Oh, Jack Mania goes on to the grass to try and get past Peter Lane. Are they too wide into the chase? No, they're not. Peter Lane dips back. Is he going to try and make the move? No, he's not. He dips back. The gap is quite wide now, 0.8 seconds. Is he going to be able to make that up? Might be. Tony Janssen getting a penalty. Not sure what for. That's going to need to be served very quickly. Ooh. Drama from start to finish this race. Tony Janssen there going into the pits. I think he had a drive-through. That might put Zabetto in front of him. Here we see the Porsche of Jonas Lagsson. Yeah, as I thought, Zabetto gets ahead of Tony Janssen there. Yeah, I think we might be a little bit too late as we look at Dean Vella currently running P6 for GT Omega RPM Esports. Quite a large gap between him and Siskula. Watch how much lock you have to take through the corkscrew. Your front left at minimum comes off the floor, so you have to be committed. You have to be very committed into corkscrew if you're going to at all get there. Remember, the new 560 Newton meter VW Anorak V6 is available for sale. I haven't heard of that car for quite a while, so I'm guessing it's, you know, pretty old. Yeah, gap between Holt and all that 3.8 seconds, 4 seconds. Yeah, about 4 seconds there. 3.8 to 4 seconds. Oh, as Blundell goes a little bit deep there into corkscrew, doesn't get the wall. You get a yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like it's pretty quickly cleared up. I think this is sector 2 before we get onto the Conrod. Here we see Paul Holt. I think I see why the gap cut down. There is a lap. There is a to-be lapped McLaren of Francesco Bonatti, or Bonari. My actual overlay cuts it off a bit. Very strong race from Bulat. It's not going to help him though, as Depoli gets a penalty as well. Holt can still just see the rear of that BMW as it goes through the chase. Is that McLaren going to get out of the way on time? A lot of drivers, I think, having taken to the grass there on the inside of the last bit of last bit of chase as you go on to the Liquid Moly Tunnel. Is that McLaren going to move over before Hell Corner? Yes, he is. Sees the blue flags. Slows right down for Holt there. Good bit of sportsmanship. We're at now about 3.3 seconds. We think if he doesn't make any mistakes in the next 2 laps, I think it's going to be 2 laps, maybe 1 lap, I'm not sure, either 1 or 2 laps. I think we are looking at our crowned champion for this series of the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge. But that is on the presumption that he doesn't make any mistakes in the last minute and 20 seconds of this race. Very strong top three showing here. So we're now going to apparently take some on-board laps from Paul Holt. Oh, the game sort of not wanting to decide what camera it wants to go in there. 2.6, 2.5. He's going to push now. If he doesn't beat Bulat, that's it. He knows that it's going to be second place in the championship. So I don't think for Holt there's much benefit to sticking back and being happy with the position he's in. Is he just going to push now and just try to make up as much ground to Bulat as he can? 35 seconds on the clock. Is Van der Ven going to get to the finish line and force one more lap? Sorry about that. I had a cough there. I think he might. Looks like he is going to, so it looks like it's going to be one more time around here. Yeah, for definite as Cliff Van der Ven comes across the line with 10 seconds left on the clock. One more lap. This is it, Paul Holt, mate. All or nothing. Can he make up the gap? He has 2.5 seconds to make up in a lap. I don't think he's going to get it. So, if nothing happens, our new champion of the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge will be Grzegorz Bulat, with first place being very well tied up, going out to Cliff Van der Ven, who looks like he's going to come through in this race and take the win. A 10-second gap between him and Bulat. Very much as a Porsche slows down. Has he run out of fuel? That was the coming P20. That was Kostas Melistas. Here. What a race. Yep, Melistas there retiring, I think, with fuel. Either that or he shifted down a bit too much and made the engine very unhappy. 25 cars looking like they have finished. 2-second gap there, Paul Holt. He's pushing. Now, okay, so he's going to just have to push for the rest of this lap. He's not going to make up the position, I don't think. But I am pretty sure that he will at least want the timing screen to show that they are very close matched on track. I think if he didn't have those mistakes as he goes very deep into the last corner, that has very much cemented it for Bulat there, as the gap now extends to 2.7 seconds. Wow. That was clearly something. As now we see coming across the line, Van der Ven, where is he? Here he is, coming round through the corner. It is a race win here at Bathurst for Cliff Van der Ven. As we get some lap cars coming through. Here comes Bulat in P2. Followed by Paul Holt in P3. So that's the championship tied up as well, with Grzegorz Bulat finishing in P2 of this race and coming home to win the championship here, as the rest of the cars now start to come through the grid, through the field. What a race. What a race indeed. We will now... Oh, R Factor 2 camera, please don't fight me. The R Factor 2 camera really, really does enjoy fighting me. What a race. Our race winner being Van der Ven, as I'm now going to jump into the post-race interviews channel of Discord. Here, we will wait to see if drivers do join. I have noticed that I think when I move my mouse, it actually moves the scene. Here we go, the rest of the drivers coming through. Here. What a race for all drivers involved. It is definitely one that I think Paul Holt might want to forget. Honestly, he had the chance. I think maybe if he took the win, I think if he didn't make that mistake, he was going to be in with a very, very large chance of coming away with the win there. Honestly, what a race for all drivers involved. Well done again to Cliff van der Ven, who came through to win that race. Wow, I think after that, we need to cool down. That was a very, very, very touch and go race. As our new champion here has been crowned for the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge. The 3 drivers there. Get a picture of that. Gregor's Bulat there takes the win of the season with Van der Ven. I think probably, if he came through all the races, I think he missed the first 2 and had a bad result in the 3rd. He might have been the crowd favourite for the win. What a race. Make sure as well that you all stick around, as we will have post-race interviews as Van der Ven gives the rear of that 720S a bit of a kiss. I think he might actually be out of fuel. Yeah, I don't hear any engine noise. I think Holt is out of fuel. Oh. All drivers will be able to come into the channel for post-race interviews. I just hope when they come in, they at least mute themselves so I don't get absolutely ruined by teammate friendly nudge. Yeah, exactly. Gotta have the friendly nudges. Well, now let's just go through to the camera. I just hope the session doesn't restart because I forgot to go back. That was the camera I wanted. Oh, I wish there was a quicker way of picking cameras. There we go. That's the camera I wanted here. The Mount Panorama. Okay, on the in the background there. Oh, that's clearly something, as we have Michael Brooks join us and Dino. And everybody now joining into the channel.
Yeah, a few more will probably join. Race.
Bonsoir.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good job that broadcasting, Ross.
Thank you. My first time not knowing the drivers made it for a very interesting race. We'll just see if anyone else joins in.
Yeah, they will join.
Let people.
We'll try and get Gregors in first. Let the new champ speak.
Michael, leave a message on the Discord, Michael. Oh, you did already.
Was that Dino?
Oh, you left already a message on the to come in the voice.
Who would want to pass up the opportunity to be interviewed by me?
Good evening. Good evening, Tony.
We need a champion here, no?
Yeah, we are waiting for Grzegorz and Paul.
I've asked him. He's just waiting on him. Champions always like to be late.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's clearly something by that race. Oh, that first always does make entertaining racing, and today was no exception.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race. Very eventful.
Yeah, that was tough race, first of all. Really tough.
Poor Gregors.
I will try and give everyone in the Discord channel at the minute the chance to be interviewed.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be enough time for everyone. Let's just see if we can get, obviously, our race winner, Cliff van der Ven, the new champion of the GT3 Simracingmania World Series, Gregor's Bulat in. Who else joins in?
Maybe before that, we will say thank you to all drivers that were racing in this series. It was really long series, very crowded series. Each race over 30 drivers. So thank you all.
Yeah, great event, great competition.
I have one thing to say, and all that really is with how that race was tonight. I am a bit annoyed with myself that I didn't come in previously for some of the other ones. It was a great race. Hopefully next season, I'm expecting there'll be a next season, will
you got Paul Holt.
Be even better. Anyone else going to join up?
Hello.
Ross, we have Paul here.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with you, Paul. Condolences on, obviously, the race. I don't think, from what I saw, went quite the way you had planned it. still walking away with P3 overall in the race. What are your thoughts on everything that happened?
Yeah, a bit disappointed. The race was good. I could keep up with Bullet for the whole race, I think. But I think I messed up with my pit stop. I overshoot the pit stop. Then I was on the grass and I kept on sliding. I couldn't brake anymore. So I got back up in reverse and entered the pit. So I think I threw it away there. But overall, poor. I had a good race.
Yeah, you also had an issue, I think, into the cutting with one of the lapped McLaren 720Ss as well. I think from the look of what we saw, the rear wing collected the barrier on the outside. Did that cause any damage?
No, not at all. Unfortunately.
Fortunately, yeah.
But my only damage was from the tap on the wall at the pit. That was my only damage.
Oh, well, obviously condolences for that issue. That sort of, I think if you wouldn't have made that mistake into the pit stop, you would have either been out in front of Bulat or just behind him.
Yeah, just behind him, I think.
But right down to the wire there, walking you away with P2 in the overall standings. I don't. So yeah, well done. Good race.
Not enough.
There's always next season. Come back, learn, and just sort of see if you can make as strong of a challenge next season as this season. Yeah,
it was a thrill. It was. I enjoyed it so much. I want to thank to all Simracingmania. It was a super great league event. So yeah, thanks, Thomas, Dino, everyone, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well done to you, Paul, for doing so well.
Yeah, thanks. A bit disappointed, but oh well. Maybe next time.
These things happen, isn't it? But yeah, thanks for taking the time to have a few words, Paul. I'm just trying to figure out who was next down the order who's in the channel. I think it might have been Sven Deutschmann.
I think it's Sven, yeah.
Names escape me, I think, as anyone who was watching sort of figured out. So Sven, how was the race for you?
Yeah, very good qualifying, pole position, but very bad out of the gate. Dropping back a few places, catching them back, because I thought the better strategy was to start with a little bit less fuel on softs. It worked out quite well. Only the last stint I saw Paul on the mountain and in the mirrors, and I don't want to fight Paul because I know it goes for a championship. Then I mess up a bit for myself, but after that settled the pace, and it was good race. I must. I don't know his name, but the one behind me was catching up very quickly. So I thought lose position maybe to the end, but just could hold up, and was a very intense race. Very good.
Walking away with a P4 at Bathurst, always an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, very good race. Very nice community. Very good organizers. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking me in. And let's see what we can do next season.
Okay, I have a message from Grzegorz Bulat. He said that he has to go because he needs to be awake in 6 hours.
Oh, become a champion.
So he can join, sadly.
You can give the title to me. I will take it.
All right, now as sadly my overlay position thing has completely disappeared, I'm just going to go down the connections in the Discord to do interviews because it's cleared itself. So, Davide De Poli, how was your race? I'm trying to find the results, see where you finished. So, do you want to give us a few words?
And he leaves.
Oh,
And
problem.
Results will be soon on the website. And right now, even right now.
Oh, I found the thing. Dean Vella finishing in P6. Do you want to give us some words?
Hello. Yeah. Definitely. I was just happy to finish the race. Honestly, I had a really wonky start at the beginning. I had a problem all season long. I just couldn't figure out the clutch on the M6, so I always like qualified. Like I qualified 8th and went down to like P11, I think. But yeah, it was a pretty good race. Pace was okay-ish. I wish I had a bit more in the tank, like at the midway point of the race, because I remember Thomas was in front of me after the pits, and he was just flying. Then he just, not sure what happened, but I saw him like in a tire wall or something. Not sure what happened to him, which sucks. But yeah, then I held my own at P6 and just try to like not crash, because at that midpoint of the race I just started getting a bit skittish, so I just try to keep it clean. But yeah, very cool championship as well. Like thank you for the guys at Simracingmania for the organization. But yeah, very fun.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the words, Valo. We didn't really see you very much on the screen, so I don't have many questions to ask, to be honest. The joys of having camera control taken out of my hands, I guess. Who's
I think Dino's next.
You're mainly sorry, who?
I think Dino's next.
Oh, I'm sort of just going down. Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Wait, I'm all at the end, so I have to go. I want to thank.
Oh yeah, do 20 next. Yeah.
I want to thank the organization for this league. It was a good league, nice fights. A bit unlucky today, but I hope that SRM is organizing such a league again very soon, because we enjoyed it.
Thank you, Tony.
On that note as well from Tony, something that I was told to add just a little while ago. I transitioned the screen over. I'm afraid it's going to be a bit stretched because of the way Streamlabs works. I apologise to you, Thomas, seeing as I think you spent a lot of time on this and it's going to be stretched to no tomorrow. The Simracingmania Race of Champions to be held on the 6th of December 2020, marking the 10-year anniversary of Simracingmania. That's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch, and I think we will probably get some words from Thomas towards the end about how it's going to run.
Oh, it's stretched, definitely.
Again on the carts with the buses, or
What?
with the carts and the was with SRM, so on the kart circuit.
It will be on Wembley Stadium track. Race of Champions from 2008.
Okay,
yes,
nice.
I saw that 2008 or 2009, I believe.
That's going to be a very interesting one to watch for the drivers who do attend it.
Yeah.
Right, let's carry on down the list. Oh, sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to cut you there.
I was going to say, the Race of Champions, there's been like, there's not just one car, there's like several different types of cars the drivers will be driving in. You won't know what car you're driving until it's like a randomizer. So you won't know what car you're driving until like seconds before the race. So you can't just practice in one car. You need to practice in like several different cars and have a basic understanding of all of them. So it's going to be quite a good test for everyone, I think.
Sounds like it's going to be quite a difficult one for drivers with multiple cars. So, thank you for unveiling the Race of Champions. I sadly won't be able to commentate it as I have other commitments. Yay! Joys. Yeah, the joy, isn't it? So, to work down the list, Dino, I'm not sure if you were racing, but how did you find the race?
Race was good. I just want to say thanks to all the guys who joined. Almost 90 people joined this league this year. So just thanks to all of them. My race was a big crap, really, but I really enjoyed it because it's one of my favorite truck. I had stop and go, three stops, and cars smashed a few times. So, but I managed to finish the race. That was important.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Just watch this space for the Race of Champions. It's a unique type of event for a simulator, you know. So we're really looking forward for that. It's going to be the highlights of this year, probably. So watch out and sign up if you're a driver.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, carry on, mate. I didn't know you were gonna. Didn't know you had stuff to add.
I just want to say I'm glad there's no Cortina in the Race of Champions.
I got outvoted.
Michael will win all.
Story behind it is that we did tests for that event in the summer. It was like really, we did it in 30 minutes, like prepared everything. And we used the Lotus Cortina, old one.
Best
remember
car
Michael,
ever.
Yeah, Michael won like 10 races in that car.
So maybe a home car advantage there for.
I've been denied my beloved Cortina.
Oh,
if I lose, I can just blame the car. I blame Thomas.
There'll always be something to blame before yourself, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So moving on, Jacques Godmania, do you have a microphone? Do you want to say some words?
He does, yes.
Not bad. I was waiting for the surname pronunciation. It wasn't a bad attempt. Jord Maynard. It's a complicated one. It's Maltese. Anyway, my race was average, but it was actually really interesting in terms of how well the softs worked, because I had 2 spins, bit annoying, which meant I went on to the mediums, but I had literally no grip on the mediums. Spun again after the long straight after T1, so turn 2. And then Peter Lane overtook me, and I obviously pitted, fixed the car, went out on softs. And with 5 minutes to go, I overtook Peter Lane. So I was quite happy with my comeback to finish in 13th, despite obviously the spins and stuff. But it was just amazing. I thought how quick the softs were. Proper noob to this, but I think like I've improved from every race. Highlight has to be qualifying 3rd at the Red Bull Ring, half a tenth off pole. If I beat Cliff van der Ven, I would have gone crazy. I wouldn't even done the race. But yeah, it was really awesome. I'm really looking forward to the next one, whenever that is.
I'm not sure. That's something that's down to the organisers to really choose there. Hopefully it's soon. Hopefully. Thank you for the words, Jack. Legessen, do you have a microphone? And do you want to say a few words? Having finished in 18th place.
I'm not sure if Jonas does.
I don't think he does.
Jonas, do you have a mic? I'm going to take that as a no, unless otherwise told.
Okay, we'll move on. Do you have a mic, Kostas? I will learn if people have mics after a while.
I think it's worth noting we have a wide variety of nationalities here, so they might not be comfortable speaking in English, some of these people, to be fair to them. So.
Oh, he's unmuted. Hello, Kostas.
Oh.
Do you want to give us a few words about your race?
Hello, if you listen me, just a second to make a adjustment, please.
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Speak with another person and come back a moment, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Michael, you.
Oh, yep, Michael.
No, Antonio Mastro is next.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, yep, Maestro. How was your race, mate? Do you want to give us a few words?
Hello.
Someone.
Oh, we got something.
Antonio, come on, mate.
Hi.
Hello.
My race is fantastic this evening. Gregor, come si dice, regalo, mi ha regalato veramente una bellissima gara.
Dino, translate.
Yeah, Dino, translate.
He said it was like a present. You guys gave us a really great race.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Antonello.
Thank you, Antonello. Grazie.
Yeah.
How's it, Antonello, mate? Michael, how was your race?
Well, actually, I was very happy with my qualifying. I qualified 9th. I was doing well at the start. I lost a couple of positions at the start, but I think I gained a couple back after some people had issues. Then I was on voice chat with Thomas during the race, and as we got near the crest of the hill, because we were right near each other, he said, "Be careful as you go over the crest of the hill." As he spoke, it made me twitch just as I was over the transition for the braking for the downhill of the mountain, and it made me crash. So I'm literally saying, "Don't crash," made me crash. And then my car, I tried to carry on, but my car was just getting worse. Almost, I had no control. I had to pit for like over a minute. It was like almost 2 minutes of just repairing damage. So I lost a lap straight away. Then I had to try and make the sauce last an entire hour, which was fun. So I was just trying to pretend I was Sergio Perez for a second. It worked in the end because I was 29th when I came out of the pits, but I managed to work my way back to 11th, and I gained 15 seconds on the guy in 10th over the course of that final stint, but obviously he was like over a minute ahead. But yeah, not the race I was hoping for, but a pretty good recovery drive all in. And congratulations to Greg Ross on the championship. And unlucky Paul, you did really well this season.
You do, though, Michael. You get to walk away with one thing, and I'm sure you know what it is, but you did beat Richard.
Yeah, we are not related, by the way.
Oh, very interesting. You're still allowed bragging rights.
Yeah, everyone thinks we're related, but we're not. It's just a random coincidence.
The meme.
But it is always nice to beat him. I won't lie.
Exactly. Thank you for that. Thomas, having retired from the race, do you want to walk us through what happened?
What happened? I lost the car behind a slower lapped car. But overall, the race was pretty good. At the start, I had some problems, as usual, with performance. So my pace wasn't too good. Then I had pretty nice pace, I would say. Undercut on Dinvella worked because after the pit, I was in front of him like 4 seconds. Then I was starting to closing to Artur Shikowa in P5. What can I say? That was just misunderstanding with my, let's say, teammate who just moved in brake zone. I had to move to the right, and I lost my rear of the car and crashed. My tires were dead after that, and I just retired. But overall, the race was very nice and very interesting. Very interesting to watch also on your broadcast. I have to say it was very, very, very fun to watch. So thank you very much one more time.
I do have a big question for you. What was going through your mind when you realised you had Paul Holt behind and Mulat ahead of you on the start?
The problem was that start for me was very good. I moved very quickly from my spot, but I was blocked by, I think, Sven in front. He had very poor start, so I had nowhere to go. So then I tried to not crash into Grzegorz, who was on my right. Sven was on my left. We were 3 wide into turn 1. It was very, very, very stressful. That was a stressful moment for me. And then, to be honest, I didn't think about it at all. I was just doing my job. But sadly, I have to say recently, because FX2 is not running well, I would say. During the race session, I had big problems at the start, so I just wanted to avoid any crashes, especially with Paul and Grzegorz. But it wasn't like very stressful driving in between them.
One thing I want to add, Paul, I hope I didn't hold you up too much near the end, Paul. I saw Grzegorz and Cliff and Grzegorz go past, and I saw you come here. I was like, oh god, I don't want to hold up the championship battle. Did I get out of your way enough?
It was all good.
Cool.
Yeah, I have to add one thing, because recently we spotted some issues with GT3 cars. It was really hard to follow car in front very close. Because
the back end would step out of you for no reason.
Because instead of car getting more understeer, it was getting more oversteer. So especially on uphill part of the track, it was really, really tricky to follow car in front. That's why probably some cars just crashed on that part of the track.
One thing I do want to ask Paul, actually, is towards the end of the race, especially on that last lap, were you just gunning that car down the mountain?
Sorry?
On the last lap, you were really cutting the gap down between yourself and Boulay. You were really cutting the gap down. Were you just trying to push as hard as you could to catch up to him?
Yeah, I was giving it all. That was all I could give. But it didn't work out, so yeah.
You at least made the attempt, and that is what matters in racing. So thank you, Thomas, for your words, and thank you for answering that. Paul, Valerio,
Valerio.
There we go. Names. Again, names so much on point.
Valerio, are you there?
Just say something in Italian. Dino
Dino can translate for you if you want, Valerio.
Valerio, lo traduco io. I don't think he's dead, or probably he went to smoke because he smokes outside the house.
Valerio is quite shy.
Fair enough, some people are. So, again, one thing I would like to extend is, obviously, a big thank you and a big hand to all the people at Simracingmania who made both this race and the previous 8 of the series happen. I'm expecting they were probably very good racing like we've witnessed tonight as well. Well done to all the drivers who finished, all the drivers who took part. Well done to Gregors Bulat, who walks away with the title this year. Oh, is there anything anyone else would like to add before the end?
I want to say thank you, Ross, for a great broadcast. I just was looking at the broadcast now of the race while we were talking, and you did a great job.
I just want to add, but also thank you. I haven't had a chance to see the broadcast yet, but I look forward to watching it tomorrow. But thank you, and also thank you to everyone who's taken part. This series wouldn't have been possible without the people in it. And I know we put a lot of work in to try and make this as good as we can for you guys, and you guys have given as good as you can get. Like, you've made this series amazing. So thank you for everyone who took part.
Everybody.
Is there anyone else who wants to add anything, or are we going to call it the end?
Yes, I can speak now a little.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, first of all, sorry for my English. I want to thank you, all the community, to accept me, to understand me, to all the support, and was a nice championship, a nice community. Was a nice race. I try my best. I'm a little amateur. I have some issues with the fuel, with the tires, and this problem with aero to follow other car. A little bit of crash, but unfortunately at the last minute of the race, I lost my engine and disqualified. But I'm very happy for the champion, and I'm happy to race again with these guys. And thank you all. Really.
Thank you for having us.
So, I think we're going to call that the end then. I have been Ross, commentating over the final round of the Simracingmania GT3 World Challenge. From me and everyone here at SRM. This is meant to be a bit for you guys to say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Thank you. Thank everyone.